started to leave, walk around foot, and we saw them on the driveway. And I said, William and Emmy, come here. I said, I'm here to get William and Emmy. And he ran after them and grabbed William and jerked him back.
From where? No, from where? Was this like...
On the street.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what street it was. Over by his place.
Okay.
So we were out on the side. We weren't even in his complex. We were out on the sidewalk.
Okay.
At this point, because we were already in the process of leaving, but then I saw him.
Okay.
So he jerked William back, and then they started running towards me. William got away. He started running towards me, and he started chasing them. So then I just said, run. And then they ran to me. We crossed the street and got on the sidewalk. I thought he was going to leave us alone, but then he just came at us, and he shoved me and jerked me back by my jacket. And then we just started running again on the sidewalk. And I don't even know the street, but I think it might have turned and gone up to Bristol.
Okay.
And he just kept coming at us, jerking at William. He grabbed William by the throat. He shoved Emmeline.
Which one is William, ma'am?
William is the blonde.
Okay.
And the light brown hair, Emmy's got her hoodie on. And then he's the big one.
Okay.
And this all happened on the main street?
Yes.
Okay.
And then by the time we got up to Bristol, the kids were screaming, leave us alone, leave us alone. And then we kept running, and he got so forceful, and then I just started screaming 911. I didn't know what to do. And we were all running, and then a couple times again he shoved and pushed. And then I know we got to a bush, and he had punched me a couple times, and we fell, and he was grabbing William. William was on this side of me, and we fell into the bush. And then he tried to punch me again, and then Andrew pulled him off me, and I think Andrew at that time either pushed him or punched him, I'm not sure, because he still was kicking at me and stuff, or whatever he was doing. And we just ran, and we were screaming. At that point, I pulled down my mask. People were looking because they noticed, and so they could see him, like, call 911. And I had tried to call 911 like 40 times, but it kept giving me a business signal. And then we just kept running. I don't know how long we ran. The boys lost their flip-flops, and we just ran.
Okay.
And then we ran, and then we went in on a street, and we sat down on the curb and called an Uber.
Okay.
And then we were going to go home, and then the kids said that they hadn't had anything to eat yet. And then Emmy showed me her bloody tooth, and William was telling me his neck really hurt. So then I changed the Uber to go to Caduceus, and then I'm like, looked up Caduceus because I wasn't sure if they were open today. I thought they were, but then it said they were closed, and then they said they were hungry. Emmy wanted to go to her grandpa's house, my dad.
And that's how you ended up here.
Yes. And so when I was on the phone with the kid's therapist while it all happened, and when I was talking with her, and that's when I saw the kids come out, and they were out on the street. We were out on the sidewalk outside the complex, and I don't know what all she heard, but she heard a portion of it because I just put my phone in my pocket and there was running.
So around what time did you get to his house?
I think we got there around 9, maybe. I'm not entirely sure.
And this was for just a simple child exchange?
So he's been withholding them since Thursday morning at 8. He wouldn't return them to me.
So he had them?
He had them. It's my custodial time. And he was withholding them from me so that I would agree to his demands, and he wasn't going to return them to me.
Where do you usually do the exchanges?
Bob Henry Park. That's where we've been doing it the last several months.
Okay.
And we've been doing a lot of them at Newport Beach PD, but that is not our designated place. And
is it Costa Mesa PD that your designated place now?
We don't have a designated place,
okay.
But I will not be stepping foot at Newport Beach ever again because he has 2 buddies there who like to harass me, and they're an extension of him.
Okay, but have you ever done it at Costa Mesa PD?
No, I don't have a car.
Okay.
So that got magnified by COVID, and I rented a car as long as I could to do exchanges, and I was the one that always chose and requested NBPD first because I have a restraining order against him and he does not behave. And then it came to a point where I just couldn't. He stopped paying child support.
Okay, so you arrive. Does he know you're coming?
No.
So you show up there.
I showed up there thinking, because my attorney told me my options last night, try to get him to meet you at CMPD if you can get there. You know, he didn't recommend going to NBPD because of how the guys have been there towards me, very inappropriate. He said, or you can just go and knock on the door and say, I'm here to pick up the kids. Well,
Did he give you a suggestion of calling the Costa Mesa Police Department to assist and stand by while you did that?
I was just about to do that, and I was on the phone with the therapist talking about doing that. She's like, I think that's a good idea. And the next thing I know, they came walking out, and I was like, okay, this is perfect. And I said, William and Emmeline, come here. And I said, I'm here to get the kids. And then that's when he jerked William back. They started running towards me, and then he chased him and pulled him a couple more times, and then we crossed the street. I'm like, stop! I'm just here to get the kids. Stop! And he
So you're already at his door.
No, I'm out on the sidewalk.
Okay, got it.
I didn't go anywhere near. I did not want to go near.
How did he know you were there?
I was out on the sidewalk.
And how did he know you were at his apartment?
Well, if this is a sidewalk,
Yeah.
the kids are probably down at like that where that white car is right there. That's how far away they are from me when I see
Okay, did the kids know you were going to be there?
No.
Okay. Continue, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So, like I said, there's a whole thing in Talking Parents. I had tried everything. I was about to I made plans to walk to Costa Mesa PD to pick up the kids. He said he wouldn't meet me there. He said it had to be NVPD. And I said, fine, I'll meet you at NVPD. And then he said, nope, I want you to agree to all these demands. And then I said, fine, I agree. Bring him to NVPD. He goes, nope, we need a signed agreement before I bring him to you. So at that point, I had given up, and we were leaving. And we were trying to figure out how to get out. We went that way. We walked down the center of the driveway.
Who's we?
Andrew and I.
And your oldest one, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And at that point, I was on the phone with the therapist, telling her what was going on, and I'd been sending her the messages, and she goes, obviously, he just never had an intention to return the kids. I said, what should I do? The attorney says I can go knock on the door and say, I'm here to get the kids. And she goes, well, I wouldn't do that alone. I said, well, I was thinking about calling Costa Mesa PD. And she goes, I think that's a great idea. And before I could say one more thing, that's when they came out into the center driveway. And I raised my hand and I said, William and Emmeline, come here. And then I said, I'm here for William and Emmeline. They started coming this way, and then that's when he grabbed William and pulled him back, jerked him back. And then they just started running. And then I said, run, when they got to me. And then we got across the street, and I thought he'd just stop. But he came up and he jerked me by my hood. And then we started running on that sidewalk. And he just kept following us, shoving us, pushing us, grabbing William. He shoved Emmy down.
So where was Andrew in all this?
He was with us.
Okay, but where was he?
What do you mean?
Like, was he, where was he? Do you know where he was?
He was with us, but William was here, Emmy was here, and he was right here, and he doesn't move as fast because he's got his entire meniscus is removed, so he doesn't move around well at all.
Okay.
Mr. Holburn got a hold of him, pulled him. All I know is that he kept coming at us and grabbing at me and trying to shove me down and punch me. And then he shoved, I'm not entirely sure. I know that William and I fell into the bush, and he had grabbed us both. He was two hands, one on each of us. And then he wouldn't let go of us, and so I think Andrew punched him or shoved him or grabbed his arm. I don't know, because we were like this in the bush.
You didn't see what happened because you were behind me.
I don't know what happened.
Okay.
I just know that we were shoved down into the bush, and Will was on top of us and still hitting. And I don't know, and then we got away.
When you say hitting, what do you mean?
Well, he punched me several times on my side.
How much is several times?
I really couldn't tell you. Maybe 3. Okay. It happened so fast, and we were so scared and screaming and running. That's all I can tell you at this point. Sorry.
You said you called 911 several times. Do you have your phone to see? This is your phone?
Yeah, we share one.
Could I ask you a question? Did you have your ex-husband's phone with you?
What?
Did you have your ex-husband's phone with you?
No.
No one took it from him?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, so I called for 4 or 5 times. 5 times. So this is the last time after we got here.
This is from here. Oops, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can take a screenshot of that too.
That's okay. It's right down here.
All right. Yeah, I was running and we were screaming. He kept, we ran far. He wouldn't stop. He kept trying to hit us, kept punching me, grabbing and choking William. William's throat and neck hurts really bad. And I kept getting a busy signal. But I was running and they were screaming. Stop, 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 Dad, It was insane.
What's your first name, ma'am?
Julie.
Julie?
Yeah.
Apparently this caused quite a commotion, and someone videotaped this whole thing. Is your story going to fall in line with that video?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was chasing us the entire way.
But the hitting and all this kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
He shoved us down into a bush.
Okay.
Yes. I do know my son because he wouldn't stop pulling on us and shoving on us, punched him or grabbed him, or I'm not entirely sure, but I know because he kept chasing us and running after us.
Where did the Uber pick you up at?
Further down on Bristol, I don't know.
Okay.
345.
Do your kids have marks from where all this happened?
You can ask William about his neck. I don't know what to tell you.
Okay.
I haven't looked at him yet. We've just been,
All right, I'll talk to William separately here.
355.
Okay.
Hey, William.
2687.
William.
Saunders.
Can I talk to you here for a second? Call me, William. See if little soft bunker. What's the way you okay. So, you know the difference between telling the truth and telling a lie.
Yeah.
Like if I said, like, your jacket is red,
Yeah.
that's telling the truth or telling a lie.
You'd be telling a lie.
Okay.
Also, this is an example.
Okay, alright, so you understand the difference, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you sort of tell me what happened today?
So, Dad had been keeping us since Thursday at 8, and he said that Mom had been, bringing us, but Mom said that she had been messaging him and trying to agree to get him to bring us, but he kept saying that saying no and stuff, but Dad said that he was trying to get her to take us, and she was responding to him.
Okay.
So we were checked, and then today Dad took us to go get some lunch. He hadn't given us anything all day.
Yeah.
And that's when Mama said, William and Emlyn, come here. And then she said, run, because he started chasing us.
Did you know she was going to come?
No, I wasn't sure. Because we were going to lunch. He was going to chase us to a restaurant called Breakfast. So
Okay, so you're leaving your dad's place to get lunch.
yeah, and then so
Registered to Jose Avila and Vivian Avila. VRP 415 verbal only.
You're inside the parking lot. She's at the parking lot. Yeah. So she's at that kind of where the parking lot turns in a street with the doors on left. And then Dad tries to grab us, and then Mom says, run to her, and Dad starts chasing after us. And then we're ahead. And then
212, you're on telephone.
my brother was asleep. Because we wanted to go to
212, you're near 4135, 4135.
Yeah. We want to go to I have to grab my neck a lot, grab me a lot. Like he did that a lot, and then so it scared me. And then last weekend that we were with him,
Okay, Mike, come on.
he said that he was gonna buy him one present and chose me.
211, there's only enough for the female.
Yeah, it's like
And they're valid.
yeah. It's like grabbing beer. Usually he usually grabs like beer, but like there was like a bit of occasional. It's been sometimes when he choked me and then he didn't like me for a while. So he's always like grabbing like big and stuff like that. It's like it hurts a lot. I'm like, that's almost a lot. I'm telling Mom every
211, there'll be an update. Return to 130 notification. We'll call you.
oh, you don't like it.
Hey, buddy. Hey. All right, she's making a bunch of allegations over here. Were you able to watch any video of this? Okay. Okay. The guy and or that guy, the ex-husband. Okay. In the bushes, or were they on the ground, or what's going on? And they're on the ground. Okay.
211, copy.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, she's claiming he punched her a bunch of times during these scuffles, the ex-wife. One of the kids is saying, yeah, he grabbed me, pulled me back, my neck hurts, all this kind of crap. Are you still out with him? Okay. All right. He's an idiot. All right, we might just go and hook for 273.5, dude. So I'll yeah, because it just sounds like she shows up there. The kids want to go with her. He's trying to pull the kids back. Ends up getting a scuffle with the wife, punching her. Well, so she says. All these kids' stories, obviously, they could have either talked about it or what, but they're all on the same sheet of music. And this idiot's chasing after him like an idiot. It's like, dude, what are you doing? It's like, So, I don't know, we'll get to the bottom of this, but this is a total nightmare of a case. And I'm thinking, you know what, if you're going to punch her ex-old lady and the kids are freaking out and the kids are even punching you, there's a bigger issue here than just mom and the kids. It's probably this guy. So, anyways, go ahead. Oh, the mom was. Little girl? Uh-huh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Alright. It would have... Okay. Let's see what he says, and then we'll... but I'm leaning towards 273.5 on him. What do you think? Yeah. Yeah.
Promoted to handle. AU, should be back on the call on 1600.
Mom's there. Yeah. Yeah, they don't have a phone here, but why do you chase down people when you've already been involved in that stuff? You know what I mean? Yeah, but she's making statements that he punched her a bunch of times. So we'll get to the bottom of it. Let us know what that last RP says. But I do want to make an arrest on this if we could verify that, he's grabbing these kids and punching the ex-wife. Okay. All right, buddy. Let me know what you got there, but I'm just letting you know what we have here, and then we'll make a decision here after we've interviewed everybody, okay? All right. Bye.
Sounds like you guys are getting a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's saying pretty much they had some agreement this past Thursday for child custody exchange. That agreement fell through because she didn't want to meet up with the kids. Then there was some
in Newport Beach.
In Newport Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So then there was agreement to meet up the Costa Mesa police. She never showed up. He calls and talks to Watkins and Selinsky at different times of the day. And he was like, yeah, I have all their names. I have all the times they called. She wouldn't go. So eventually we decided, he's like, well, screw it. If she's not going to come pick up these kids, I'll just hold on to them until we get an actual agreement. Goes to the house at some point today, like around noon. Or the time of call, actually. Him and the kids decided they want to go out to eat. He's walking out of his complex. Andrew, the son, and mom start yelling towards the kids to run to them. And he was like, no, you can't do this. This is not a formal exchange. This is outside of the court order. He starts recording with his phone and chasing the kids. And I'm like, well, the kids willingly going? Yeah, he's like, yeah, the kids were running towards her. And then as he was chasing the kids with the phone, the son got in front of him and started playing shuffle or whatever. And then he was still trying to get past him. And then
Does he have this all on his phone?
it's all on the phone, apparently.
Okay.
He's recording the whole time, and then he said the son punches him in the face like 2 to 3 times. He falls to the ground, and the son keeps punching him. He said he never assaults anybody, never touches anybody. He doesn't have any injuries that I saw other than what was on his face.
Okay.
He said the son took his phone, and he thinks he took his glasses. And that's where the 211 came from.
Okay.
So, and he said that.
Why don't you stand with Bach when you guys interview him and ask him those questions?
Well, that was my plan. So I
Okay.
was going to pull him over here because I have a feeling, when Arnold explained to me, if we end up having a 10-15 him, if he says, yeah, I do have his phone, or I did take his phone and I threw it, whatever the case may be, like, okay, that's our 211.
Yeah. Okay. Just stand with Bach while all this is going on, because they're all, I mean, obviously they've had a chance to talk.
And then Mom said, come here and me and Williams.
Oh, really?
And then your run him because she's supposed to, they're supposed to be with him on Friday.
Is that
And then we were running down the block, and then Dad started chasing after us, and just kept running. And then we got to the sidewalk place, and Dad tried to grab. I actually saw it. He grabbed William. He was trying to yank him back, and into the house, and he hit Mom on her side.
ALT, so I guess you've had contact with the father over this past week.